So, a douchebag by the name of Melvin O'Neill has been accused of doing the unthinkable to his mother. Um, but here's the catch. This is not his first time being accused of assaulting a woman. Matter of fact, I think they said this is like his third time being accused of this. But I think the most horrific part about it is every single time from what I was reading, she always had his back. She always was front and center, basically, disputing down the other woman, making it seem as if she was lying on, they were lying on her son. And I was reading in some of the comments where some people were feeling bad for her, some people weren't. But to be honest, I'm kind of on the fence about it. I'm kind of 50-50 about it, because I do think there is some accountability, where things that she could have done differently to prevent the matter. It's kind of unfortunate because we see all the time where parents are very in denial when it comes to their child. And I do consider this situation one of those times. And of course, I want her to get well, and I wish this never happened to her. But um, I'll just say the way the cars can shuffle sometime, um, I'll just say is life. So let's dissect this a little deeper, very briefly.
He was convicted in 2012 at 19 of doing the R-word and sexually assaulting other women. But this time, he did the unthinkable. She said she trusted her son, and she believed him and had his back, that he didn't do what those women were accusing him of. But it all turned for the worse. She said she trusted that her son would never do that to her or anyone.
To be honest, I know it's about to sound effed up what I'm about to say, but this is a good example of another parent enabling their child. And it just, I hate to say it, but life has a funny way of coming back to haunt people that basically swept a lot of bad behavior and signs under the rug. It's very unfortunate what happened, but she's a good example of a parent that you basically, I know we done all heard the saying, you can't tell people nothing about their kids. She's a good example of what happens when people ignore all the signs with their children and they're in denial. I'm pretty sure this guy was showing predatory signs from a young age, okay? I know people say a R word or a S word. It doesn't really have a specific look. You can't put a specific race on it, or, as we all know, sometimes R's and S offenders can be, women as well. You know, it doesn't really, it's not really a certain, look that they say, just like a serial K, they say you too funny with some of the words. So, y'all smart, y'all know what it means. It don't really have a certain look. It could be anybody, but it's very sad what happened to her. But we not about to sit here and act like she was basically having her son back before when he was wrong. I was reading through the various articles where a lot of people were commenting on it. She does have people out here that feel bad for her, but majority of the people was speaking on how she offended. I mean, she defended him when, he did it to somebody else. You know, and can you blame them? I mean, let's be honest. If he's done it before, and, let's say he really, well, not let's say, allegedly, from where we see it, he did it, right? Okay, she was one of his victims. Um, you know, I bet you every single day she thinks about that. Okay? Um, it just goes to show why you should just, as much as it probably hurts, when you hurt something, you maybe sometimes you need to chew the meat and spit out the bones. Don't be so quick to just close your ears. Listen. As painful as it is, listen. Because sometimes it really could save you. Technically.
Her exact post read, Lord, I'm calling out and lifting up my son. God, you loaned him to me. And I declare and decree that no weapon formed against him shall prosper. I cancel every assignment of the enemy that seeks to destroy him. I plead the blood of Jesus over him. He shall live and not die. And I declare the work of the Lord in the land of the living. He shall be successful. He shall prosper.
Okay, so here's the thing. I would be a liar if I said to you all, I feel bad for her 100%. Because to be honest, 50% of me doesn't. And the other 50% does. Nobody deserves to be, by their own son. Okay. But the thing is, for 1 second, I want y'all to think about how the victim felt, the one that first accused him of that. Imagine how it feels to have somebody do that to you, and people are spewing you down, acting as if you're lying, or, they don't know how you feel, or, I know what it feels like. Not a situation like that, but something similar to where you're having to explain to somebody's parents that they were effing with you, if you know what I mean. Like, I have had situations growing up where the parent, let them tell it, you cannot tell them that they child picks. Let them tell it they know they child. They know they child wouldn't do that. Let them tell it they child don't bother nobody. It's very frustrating. So that's nothing compared to what that girl went through. But I know how frustrating it is for somebody to try to paint you out to be a liar or a con artist. As we all know, there are certain parents out here, you cannot tell them anything about their child. They don't want to hear it. They know they baby. You ain't about to tell them about they baby that they to carry. They know they child. It's very frustrating, especially when you know how this person can be when nobody else is around. Or like, for example, in a classroom, you're not around your child all the time. Of course, they gonna come home and tell you, their version of the story. You heard my stomach because y'all know I'm still on my fast. So, yeah. So, they're gonna tell you what basically their version. So it goes back to, it makes it kind of hard for me to really feel bad for her, because as much as, I'm not a mother right now, but one day I will be. And I can only say, from the human side, when you love someone, even I don't care if it ain't nothing but a little cousin, as hurtful as it is to hear certain things, or see certain things, and for whatever reason you turn a blind eye, you have to accept it. That way you can address the issue. Because see, had she opened her eyes and opened her ears and not turned a blind eye and didn't close her ears, maybe, just maybe, she could have gotten him the help that he needed at an early age, and stop being so in denial about the little stuff that may have been right there that you overlooked. Um Sometimes when people don't, or for whatever reason, want to accept things, sometimes it can blow back in their face. Okay, we have to be honest with ourselves. As hurtful as it can be, even for me, for example, certain things that have happened in my life as I get older, I'm more hard. Let's say somebody play me or throw shade and it hurt my feelings or something. I am more hard on myself than the other person, because the first thing I say to me in majority situations, I'm like, okay, what sign did I miss? Because there are always signs, even all the way down to just the way somebody may look at you or give you a side eye, or the little sound effects, or you, like my godmother always told me, you got to watch the yeah rights, the the so you says. You got to watch the ones that their body language, the little signs that people do, that we overlook. um it means something. It means something. And and I'm, as an adult, I'm even more hard on myself about things, because we, in all situations, we must be accountable. um and I understand when she said, on the other post, where she was like, I was just trying to be a good mom and be supportive. Yeah, you could be a good mom and be supportive by holding him accountable as well. Don't ever get that misconstrued. You can be a good mom from the sidelines as well. Most definitely. You can love him from a distance. You can love him from afar. It's nothing wrong with that at all. But when you support him in his wrong, you are enabling a monster. 100%. I can't tell people what to do with their children, but I do think if more parents were to stop being so in denial when it comes to their children, I think a lot of things could be prevented. And I do believe a lot of the crime rates will go down from state to state. If a lot of y'all stop being so um basically can't tell y'all shit. Y'all think y'all got it all figured out. Let y'all tell it, everybody lying on y'all child. Um, I think a lot of stuff will be prevented. Like, I'm gonna give you an example, right? Um, Long story short, um, I remember once upon a time when I was younger, right? So let's just say a person that I knew, um she had how can I say this? Don't want to drop the names, and I don't want to give too many details about the event, because you probably can look it up, and I don't like to, as you know, I don't like to name drop in none of my videos. But let's just say I knew a person and I overheard a conversation. So I tried to warn his grandmother that he was selling, stuff, right? um and when I say all the signs are there, um that means like he was wearing real expensive shoes. I'm talking like $600, $700 J's. He was going to, you know games that tickets were costing damn near $1,000. Basically stuff that high schoolers really could not be able really could not afford, if you know what I mean. If you grew up middle class like him and I, we weren't poor. We were middle class. We were right in the middle. Both of our dudes had, houses. I ain't talking about public housing, Section 8. I'm talking about a real mortgage, okay? Which nothing is wrong with that, but I'm just saying that to paint a picture. Middle class, you get what I'm saying, like we in the middle. So with that being said, I overheard a conversation, and I told his grandmother about it, and she basically spewed me down. She acted as if I didn't know what I was talking about. She came right out and said, like I told y'all before, I was rebellious growing up. I used to fight a lot. I ain't talking about 1 or 2 fights. I mean, like, I used to fight a lot. Like, I remember times when I would fight girls sometime 4 and 5 hours at a time. Like, when I went at it back in the day, I went at it. Scrapping. My dudes brought up a fight the other day where she had brought up how I had script all the way down to my drawers and my bra, because I could go, like, if that meant fighting your ass in my lingerie, that's what I'm gonna do. Okay. I didn't get tired. um I'm gonna weigh your ass out, I'm gonna weigh your ass in. But with that being said, as you all know, I graduated high school, I graduated college, I started grad school in the fall. I'm in my mid-20s, So I have a lot, to show for, as far as like I'm not one of those people that try to act like I ain't been through nothing. That's why I always try to pay homage to my upbringing, the things that I've been through, because how some people try to act like they ain't never been through nothing, they always had it all figured out. No, I was definitely unruly growing up. But anyway, so with that being said, so I told his grandmother about it. She spewed me down. Um, so she says to me, her exact words were, "You're always in trouble. You're always the one suspended. You're always the one expelled. My boy doesn't do anything. My boy doesn't give me any trouble. He doesn't give us any trouble. You're always the one that da 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 da. And how can you put that on my boy? Don't put that on my boy. Da 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 da. Right?" So it kind of hurt my feelings, because I call myself, trying to basically, raise the flag a little bit, not even in a snitching way, but I knew some of the guys that he hang with at that moment in time were very dangerous guys. They, how I used to fight, but they were guys that, like, um, I've heard things that, I don't know if it was true or not, how they actually have put money over people's head, as the years went on, other people that have went on, if you know what I mean. So I don't know if it was true, it was something that I had just heard round the way over, and just people talking, or, and I never really repeated it to people, family. I just always kept it to myself. But with that being said, I knew that for sure those type of guys were just not people he needed to be around, right? Mind you, we was still in high school at the time, and when I was telling her that, giving her an update, I was suspended at that moment in time, right? So it was kind of like one of those things where, look who's talking, basically, right? So, I hate to say it, but a couple years after that happened, he went on. He was wrong place, wrong time, around those same guys. To this day, let's just say it was unsolved. It's still an unsolved case. God rest his soul. So, I give you that example to, give to you, again, remember, I told you I was trying to give her the update, because I already knew, like, raise the flag, like, basically get him away from them, because they are very dangerous guys. And that moment in his demise, he was around those same guys. So, and a lot of the times with situations like that, as we all know, the innocent is the one that really gets sprayed. And that's how it was. They wrote it off as wrong place, wrong time. It was a big event. I'm not gonna name the event, because if I name the event and name the year, y'all gonna is you can look it up on Google, you'll know what I'm talking about. And that's just, I'm not gonna do that. So let's just say that's just what it was. It was sad. So I never brought it up to her. But of course they knew who he was with, and I'm sure it has crossed her mind before. After the event, I'm sure she thought about what I said. I'm sure they did, his parents as well. And I gave her my condolences when the situation had happened. She caught an attitude. What are you trying to say? And this, that, and that. I said, I'm not trying to say anything. I'm giving you my condolences. And that was that. But yeah, just be careful how y'all write off things with y'all children. More of the story, because a lot of the times things can be prevented if people act on it when people first bring it up, if you know what I mean. And the same thing with this situation right here. Had she, again, I can't stress this enough, had she paid attention, had she listened, maybe this could have been prevented as well. So basically, in a nutshell, I hope he, has his day in court. And, I'm not sure, they said he was already convicted or not. But of course, as we all know, he definitely gonna do some time. He needs to sit down for the rest of his life. If, I believe once the prison people hear about it, the people in the prison streets, I'm pretty sure they gonna get at him, as they should. And whatever pain he caused on other people, they need to put him in that same kind of pain and positions, if you know what I mean. Um, he's obviously into some weird stuff, if you know what I mean. Um, so I'm pretty sure he seemed like he probably down for it. Um, he needs to really suffer. Um, it's just horrible, because how your DICK get hard for your mama, your own mama. How you get off on, how you, to be honest, when I first thought about when they said he did that to his own mama, I think he been looking at that lady. I think he been, checking her out. This is not something that, he just came up with off the fly. He been looking at that lady. He been probably wanting to try her out. How do you go up in something that you came out? If you know what I mean. How do you, how are you attracted to your own family members? It just goes to show how sick people are out here. And it's like the older I get, the more I realize they out here. I just pray that I don't have to keep, I've ran into some people that some of the stuff that they say out of their mouth and how they carry situations and even how they comfort people, it's baffling. So it definitely goes to show that he's among those sick people. Um, do I think he's mental? Yes. Um, I do think he has a problem. And I'm one of those people that always say, we need to stop, as a society, we need to stop writing everything, every crime off as they have a mental problem or people have a mental problem. Because sometimes, like, even some of those people that be doing those masks, you know what? Some of them, I do believe they have a problem, but some of them, I don't. I believe they're just mad at the world and wanted to put people in pain because they're hurting. But this guy, this N word, like I told y'all, to me, as far as males, either they're a man or they're N word, and he definitely qualifies as an N word. She gave birth to a monster. Point blank period. She gave birth to a monster. And I think she sees that now, and it's kind of unfortunate that this had to happen to her, for her to finally see it, because I don't believe he just became that way as an adult. He probably been that way. It's probably been stuff that she just overlooked. And you know how they say black mothers are with their sons, especially their sons. You can't tell them nothing about their son. So, I do believe she's one of those moms, but now she finally sees, like, damn, they was right. He is a monster. And it's very sad and disheartening. But I hope he go to jail. And to be honest, I think she owes that girl an apology, a sincere apology. And not only that, she needs to apologize to that girl's mother as well. Because let's be honest, if your child had went through something like that, and I think we all can agree, if the shoe was on the other foot and you was the person's mom that went through the act, trying to, pack your child up, let them know it's going to be all right. And then you got the person that caused the pain, his mother basically spewing you down, like, you don't know what you're talking about, you lying on her son, as that being your child, you're gonna feel like, damn, you basically calling my child a liar. Like, you gonna feel some type of way about that. And as we all know, when you love somebody, it's hard to see them go through pain. So um I want to say it's karma, just a little bit. As you can see, I really don't have a lot of sympathy for her, because I feel like, had she been a little less entitled, to speak her opinion and speak how she feels, and actually sit down and, put two and two together and look at the big picture, and put all the pieces of the puzzle together, maybe she could have saved her own self from him. It's hard for me to feel bad for her. I'm not gonna lie to you. Whenever I see stuff like this, um, in most situations, I try to keep my opinion to myself, because I don't want to come across as cold-hearted. But we also have to be honest here, because you got to think it was somebody else involved that was a victim of his. And you see how she, like, basically had his back, and look what he did to her. So it's kind of one of those things, like the old saying goes, um, you're a fool to keep thinking you're going to be around somebody and see them hurting people, and think that you're not next on the list at some point. And I do believe she was kind of foolish. I do. But that doesn't mean I'm saying that's what she get. Not at all. But I do believe she could have done more to get him some help, 100%. And God sees what he did, and maybe now, you never know, maybe she could come out and be an advocate for stuff like this, and spread awareness to, basically, when you see stuff like this, how the old saying goes, ain't nothing new under the sun. This seems like it. We don't hear too many cases like this. I know I haven't. So yeah, this was a different one. I gotta say, this is my first time hearing something like this. Um, that goes to show how demented he is in the head. Um, yeah, but other than that, I hope justice is served. I hope she gets some therapy. Because I'm sure that really did something to her eternally. Um, and yeah, and that's about it.